We've been using message boxes throughout the course so far, and one of those uses has been to get input from the user via the buttons that they choose. Visual Basic has another dialog box called an input box that allows the user to enter a string, and we can then handle that string and do something with it. It works very similar to the message box. It doesn't require the .show command. Rather, the input box method shows a dialog that includes the prompt, the title, a default value or item name in this case, that what I'm using, and then a location. The title, default entry, and the X and Y points of the location are all optional. So this is an overloaded method, and in simplest form, we're simply going to add the prompt. So here, ABC equals input box enter name. Now by default, it puts a title here of Microsoft.visualbasic.core. But it still gives an option for us to enter a value at the bottom, and that would go into ABC. We can specify a title. So in this case, I'm adding who are you as the second argument for our title. And we see that on the title bar there. Now if we didn't want a title at all, and we didn't want that Microsoft.visualbasic.core, we could do a title of just a space, quote, space, quote. With the third argument, we're adding a default value. And the user can just accept that by clicking the OK button, or they can change it. So here I've added in Pat Parker as the default name. And we can specify the X and Y coordinates. In this case, they're coming from the top left of our display. So 60 pixels from the left and 180 pixels down, that would be the location of the input box. Oftentimes, though, we want to have that be offset from the form itself. And if we, instead of using 60 and 180, we said me.left plus 60, that's going to be 60 pixels from the left edge of our application, and then me.top plus 180 is 180 pixels from the top of our application. So we're making those XY coordinates relative to the location of our form. It doesn't matter where our form is on the screen, whether it's in the upper left or lower right or in the center, the offset of the input box will be the same in relation to the form. Here's a simple application consists of one control, which is a label, and that label I'm handling the click event. The label is called LBL list, and if I click on that label, I get a input box dialog that pops up, 100 pixels from the left and 200 pixels from the top, with a prompt of enter item to add, title to add item, and a default of item name. And I can enter an item. Let's do some dogs. So do Rottweiler, Boxer, Greyhound, Alaskan Malamute. Each time I add in a new breed, it's adding it to the list with a carriage return, so it puts it on the next line. That's how we can use an input box to get input from the user in the form of a string. If you just jumped into this video, you can see all the videos from the Programming Practicum playlist by clicking on the image in the lower right. And if you'd like to be alerted to future videos I create, you can click my picture in the top right to subscribe to the channel.